All right, what you're going to look at today is something that we use in algebra. We're going to use it to solve a certain type of equation, but for today we're just learning the skill. It's when we multiply, so we're going to find a product, that's the word for multiply. We multiply a monomial, so a single thing, a monomial by a polynomial. And it's pretty easy, you just have to watch your exponents. So let's look at this first one. We have 8x. Actually, before we start that, just a little side note, you don't have to write this down. Remember when you have 3 times 2n minus 1? Remember how you take 3 times 2? 6n, 3 times 1 is 3, it's minus. It's called the distributive property. That's the same thing we're going to do here. So like 4w plus 5 is 4w plus 20. So we're going to do the same thing. We're multiplying and we're going to distribute. But now we're going to have maybe a coefficient and a variable. So the first we have 8 and 6. So we take 8 times 6 is 48. And you have an x and an x. So you have two of them. So you're going to write x squared. The next one you have 8 times 6. So that's 48. And you have an x and nothing. So you have 1x. So x, it stays plus because there's nothing else that can change it. Okay, let's try this next one together. 7 times 6 is 42. N times n is n squared. 7 times 3 is 21. This one has an n, this one doesn't, so we just need one n. The next one, 3 times 7 is 21. R times r is r squared. 3 times 8 is 24. There's one r, so we keep one r, and it's minus. So you're multiplying and figuring out how many of each variable you have. Our next one, 8 times 8, 64. There's one k, it's k. And then 8 times 8, 64. There's no variable, no k, so we put minus because it's minus. Okay, let's try our next one. 10 times 1, so we get 10. We have two a's, so it's a squared. 10 times 10 is 100. Now we have two different variables. We have an a and a b, so we have to put both of them, a, b. And what goes in the middle of them? Minus. Our next one, we have 2 times 9, which is 18, 1x, so we put our x, minus 2 times 2 is 4. We have one y value, so we'll put y. Our next one, we have 7 times 6, which is 42. Then we have x times x. We have two x's, so that's x to the second power, r squared, plus, now we have 7 times 4, which is 28. And if you look here, we have an x and we have a y, so we have to put them both. Put them in alphabetical order as well. All right, next one. 4 times 8 is 32. A times a is a squared, minus 4 times 8 is 32. A times b, a times b, a, b. Okay, let's try these last two. They get a little big, but I think we can handle it. 3 times 1 is 3. Then you have n and n squared. So that's going to give you n to the third because you have 1 here and 2 here. So 1 plus 2 is 3. Minus. Now we take 3 times 6 is 18. N and n. So you have 2. So n squared. And now 3 times 5 is 15. You have n and none, so you have one of them. Okay, now our last one. Got to add a little bit here. So we got 2 times 2 is 4. You have 3 k's and 2 k's. So 3 plus 2 is 5. It's 3 and 2. And I take 2 times 5 and it's plus, so it's 2 times 5 is 10. And now you have 3 plus 1, so that is 4. Then I have 2 times 4, which is going to be minus 8, because it's a negative here. And you have 3 k's. I have none here, so 3 k's. All right, so now you're going to do some practice with this. And if you need to, help each other, but please don't copy and do the best you can. Have a good day.